It's a scam. Your taxes are funding secret projects. And not just any secret projects, but programs so outlandish, so deeply hidden, that if you truly understood where your hard-earned money was going, you would be absolutely furious. You work tirelessly, you pay your dues, you contribute to society, all under the assumption that your government is using those funds for the public good, for roads, for schools, for healthcare, for national defense, and the way they tell you. But what if I told you that a significant portion of your tax dollars, billions upon billions, vanishes into a labyrinth of black budgets, off-book expenditures, and clandestine operations, all designed to serve an agenda far removed from the public interest? This isn't just about wasteful spending. This is about deliberate deception, about a shadow government operating with impunity, leveraging your financial contributions to fund projects that actively work against your freedom, your privacy, and your very understanding of reality. They don't want you to know this. They've built an intricate web of lies, bureaucracy, and misdirection to ensure these truths remain buried. But today, we're going to pull back the curtain. We're going to expose the mechanisms, the motives, and some of the most disturbing projects your taxes are secretly funding. For decades, we've been fed a narrative of transparency and accountability. Every year, governments release their budgets, thick tomes filled with line items and appropriations, seemingly detailing every penny spent. But this is the illusion. This is the stage play designed to keep you pacified. The reality is far more sinister. Beneath the visible budget, there exists a hidden financial universe, the black budget. This isn't some fringe conspiracy theory. It's a well-documented, albeit intentionally obscure, aspect of government spending, particularly within intelligence agencies and defense departments. These funds are allocated to classified operations, projects so sensitive that their very existence is denied. And the figures involved are staggering. We're talking about tens, if not hundreds, of billions of dollars annually, shielded from congressional oversight, from public scrutiny, and from any form of independent audit. Think about that for a moment. Vast sums of money, siphoned directly from your pockets, disappearing into an abyss where no questions are asked, no receipts are shown, and no accountability exists. How can a democratic society function when such immense power and financial resources are wielded in complete secrecy? The answer is, it can't. This isn't democracy. It's an oligarchy operating under the cloak of darkness, using your money to build its own empire of influence and control. The language used to justify these black budgets is always the same: national security, a catch-all phrase designed to shut down any inquiry, to instill fear, and to compel compliance. But what exactly constitutes national security when it involves funding projects that seem to defy the laws of physics, manipulate human behavior, or push the boundaries of technology in ways that could fundamentally alter our future without our consent? We are told to trust, to believe that these unseen forces are working for our protection. But history has shown us time and again that unchecked power, especially when combined with unlimited resources, inevitably leads to corruption and abuse. Consider the revolving door between government, intelligence agencies, and private contractors. This isn't just a convenient hiring practice. It's a symbiotic relationship that ensures the perpetuation of the black budget system. Former high-ranking officials transition into lucrative positions within defense contractors, intelligence firms, and technology companies that then receive classified contracts. They are the gatekeepers, the architects of this hidden economy. They design the projects, award the contracts, and then profit immensely from them, all while remaining shielded from public view. It's a self-sustaining ecosystem of secrecy and enrichment, funded by you, the taxpayer, who remains completely oblivious to the true beneficiaries and the true objectives. The very structure of government financial reporting is designed to obfuscate. Funds are often commingled. Programs are given vague or misleading names, and expenses are categorized in ways that make it impossible to trace their true purpose. A budget line item for advanced research and development could be anything from a new stealth bomber to a project attempting to control the weather. An allocation for intelligence gathering could encompass everything from satellite surveillance to psychological operations aimed at manipulating public opinion. The ambiguity is not accidental. It is by design, a deliberate strategy to prevent you from connecting the dots and understanding the full scope of their operations. This brings us to the core of the problem, the deep state. This isn't a shadowy cabal of old men in smoke-filled rooms, as some caricatures suggest. The deep state is a more insidious, pervasive network of unelected officials, powerful lobbyists, corporate executives, and intelligence agency operatives who maintain consistent influence over government policy regardless of who is elected. They are the permanent government operating behind the scenes, ensuring their agenda progresses unimpeded by public opinion or democratic processes. And your tax dollars are their fuel. They operate with a singular focus: the consolidation of power and control. Their motives are complex, ranging from geopolitical dominance and resource acquisition to the social engineering of populations and the suppression of dissenting voices. They leverage global crises, real or manufactured, to push through their agendas, expand their budgets, and tighten their grip on information. The manipulation of public perception is a cornerstone of their strategy. Through control of narratives in mainstream media, through the funding of compliant think tanks and academic institutions, they shape what you believe, what you fear, and what you consider to be truth. If they can control the information you consume, they can control your understanding of the world, making it easier to justify their secret expenditures and their clandestine projects. Consider the sheer audacity of it. While you struggle to make ends meet, while essential public services are underfunded, while infrastructure crumbles, your money is being diverted into projects that would sound like science fiction if they weren't terrifyingly real. Let's delve into some of these alleged secret projects, funded by your taxes, hidden behind layers of classification and denial. One of the most infamous, yet still largely unacknowledged, examples is the funding of advanced aerospace programs, often linked to sites like Area 51. While the government has finally admitted to the existence of the facility, the true nature of the programs conducted there remains shrouded in secrecy. We are told it's for testing advanced aircraft, but what kind of aircraft? And how much of your money has been poured into these black programs completely off the books? Reports from whistleblowers, testimonies from former employees, and leaked documents suggest that what happens at these sites goes far beyond conventional aviation. We're talking about reverse engineering unknown technologies, developing propulsion systems that defy known physics, and creating craft with capabilities that would render current military technology obsolete. Billions upon billions have vanished into these black projects with no public oversight. Imagine the technologies they could be developing, the implications for our future, all funded by you without your knowledge or consent. Are they preparing for something? Are they hiding something? The lack of transparency suggests the answers are far more disturbing than we can imagine. Then there's the chilling legacy of mind control programs, epitomized by projects like MK Ultra. While officially terminated and widely condemned, the underlying research and objectives never truly disappeared. The techniques developed, psychological manipulation, covert influence, the use of pharmaceuticals and technology to alter consciousness, are too valuable for those seeking control to simply abandon. It's naive to believe that such research, once initiated, simply ceases. Instead, it evolves, becomes more sophisticated, and retreats further into the shadows. Your tax dollars could be funding the next generation of mind control, disguised under innocuous titles like cognitive science research or behavioral studies. Within defense or intelligence budgets, are they experimenting with ways to influence public opinion on a massive scale, to sow discord, to create controlled opposition? The very thought that our own government could be funding programs to manipulate the thoughts and actions of its citizens, using our money to do so, is the ultimate betrayal of trust. And what about weather manipulation and geoengineering? The idea of controlling the weather has long been a staple of science fiction, but the technology is increasingly within reach. Programs like HAARP, High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, have been publicly acknowledged, but their true capabilities and objectives remain highly controversial. While officially described as research into the ionosphere, many researchers and concerned citizens point to its potential for weather modification, earthquake generation, and even mind control through electromagnetic frequencies. Billions have been poured into projects related to atmospheric research, climate modification, and environmental defense. Are these benign scientific endeavors, or are they covert operations designed to weaponize the weather, to create droughts or floods, to influence agricultural output for geopolitical gain? And if so, how much of your tax money is going into these projects, hidden under the guise of climate change research or defense against natural disasters? The existence of chemtrails, those persistent contrails in the sky, remains a hotly debated topic. While officially explained as normal aircraft exhaust, their unusual appearance and persistence have led many to suspect secret atmospheric spraying programs, possibly for geoengineering purposes or even for biological or chemical dispersion. These programs, if they exist, are undeniably expensive, requiring specialized aircraft and exotic materials. Who pays for them? You do. Moving into the digital realm, your taxes are undoubtedly funding advanced surveillance and AI programs that far exceed anything publicly acknowledged. We know about PRISM and other NSA programs, but those are just the tip of the iceberg. The true cost of collecting, storing, and analyzing every piece of digital data, every email, every phone call, every social media post is immense. These programs are often hidden under national security intelligence budgets or cyber defense initiatives. Beyond just collecting data, your money is funding the development of sophisticated artificial intelligence systems capable of predictive policing, facial recognition on a massive scale, and even advanced psychological profiling. What are the ethical implications when an AI, funded by your taxes, can predict your behavior, monitor your movements, and potentially influence your decisions, all without your knowledge or consent? This isn't just about catching terrorists. It's about building a comprehensive system of control, a digital panopticon where every citizen is under constant, invisible scrutiny. And then we venture into the most controversial, yet perhaps most compelling claims, the secret space programs. This theory posits that beyond NASA and publicly known space agencies, there exists a highly classified, independently funded space fleet developed with advanced, often reverse-engineered, technology. Whistleblowers like Corey Goode and William Tompkins have provided detailed, albeit often incredible, accounts of these programs, alleging the existence of secret bases on the Moon and Mars and interactions with non-terrestrial intelligences. Where would the funding for such colossal, generations-long projects come from? The black budgets. The trillions of dollars that have gone missing from defense budgets over the decades. The argument is that the official space program is merely a smokescreen, a public-facing facade to divert attention while the real advancements and discoveries are happening in the shadows. When the Space Force was announced, many in this community saw it not as a new branch of the military, but as a public unveiling of a small fraction of what has been operating in secret for decades. A strategic reveal preparing the public for what's to come, while still keeping the most profound truths hidden. Your taxes, therefore, could be funding not just earthly clandestine operations, but an entire hidden civilization in space operating beyond the reach of any democratic oversight. So how do they actually do it? How do they make all this money disappear? The mechanisms of funding and concealment are as intricate as they are deceptive. One primary method involves the use of shell corporations and offshore accounts. These are not just for wealthy individuals looking to avoid taxes. Governments and their shadowy operators use them extensively. Contracts for secret projects are awarded to these shell companies, which then subcontract to other untraceable entities, creating a labyrinth of transactions that makes it virtually impossible to follow the money trail. The funds are moved through various jurisdictions, laundered through seemingly legitimate businesses, until they effectively become untraceable. This is financial alchemy, turning public money into private, unaccountable wealth, all for clandestine purposes. Another critical mechanism is the exploitation of emergency spending and legislative loopholes. When a crisis hits, a natural disaster, a pandemic, a terrorist attack, massive sums of money are quickly allocated with reduced oversight. This is where the deep state thrives. Buried within these emergency bills are often riders and appropriations for classified projects disguised as necessary expenditures. The public, gripped by fear and urgency, rarely scrutinizes these details. Furthermore, broad legislative language and vague definitions of national security provide legal cover for diverting funds to black projects. These loopholes are not accidental. They are deliberately crafted by those who understand the system and how to manipulate it to their advantage. And what about audits? We are told that government spending is audited, ensuring accountability. But the reality is that many of these black projects and agencies are exempt from traditional audits. Even when audits do occur, they are often superficial, focusing on easily verifiable public expenditures while ignoring the vast sums hidden in classified accounts. The Government Accountability Office, JAWA, and other oversight bodies often hit a brick wall when attempting to scrutinize intelligence agencies or highly classified defense programs. The excuse is always the same: national security. This creates a system where entire segments of government spending operate without any meaningful independent oversight, allowing billions of your dollars to be spent without any real transparency. Let's not forget the role of the Federal Reserve. A private entity, yet it controls the public money supply. Its operations are notoriously opaque. Many argue that the Fed, with its ability to create money out of thin air and control interest rates, is a key enabler of the deep state's financial machinations. It can funnel funds, create liquidity for black projects, and manipulate the economy to serve the interests of the powerful, all while remaining largely unaccountable to the public. The national debt, constantly skyrocketing, is often presented as a necessary evil. But for the deep state, debt can be a tool of control, perpetuating a system where the public is always beholden to financial institutions, allowing for the continuous siphoning of wealth into their clandestine operations. Finally, the most insidious mechanism of all is misdirection and propaganda. They keep you distracted with manufactured controversies, sensationalized news cycles, and cultural wars. While you are busy arguing amongst yourselves about trivial matters, they are quietly diverting your taxes, expanding their power, and implementing their agenda. They control the narrative, ensuring that any genuine inquiry into these secret projects is dismissed as conspiracy theory, fake news, or the ravings of unhinged individuals. This psychological warfare is designed to make you self-censor, to doubt your own intuition, and to accept the official narrative without question. The human cost of all this is immense. While your taxes are funding secret space programs, mind control experiments, and weather manipulation technologies, essential public services languish. Hospitals are underfunded, schools struggle, veterans are neglected, and infrastructure crumbles. The money diverted to these black projects could solve countless societal problems, alleviate suffering, and truly improve the lives of citizens. Instead, it is used to build a system of control, to develop technologies that could be used against us, and to perpetuate the power of an unelected, unaccountable elite. This isn't just about money. It's about the erosion of democracy itself. When a government can operate with such extensive secrecy, when it can spend untold billions of your dollars on projects it refuses to acknowledge, then the fundamental principles of a free society are undermined. Your consent is not sought. Your will is ignored. You become a mere funding mechanism for an agenda that actively works against your interests. The very concept of representative government becomes a farce. But understanding this truth, however disturbing, is the first step towards reclaiming control. They thrive in the shadows, relying on your ignorance and your apathy. When you become aware of these mechanisms, when you start to connect the dots, you begin to dismantle their power. It's not an easy fight, and the forces arrayed against us are formidable. But the truth, once revealed, cannot be unseen. What can you do? Start by questioning everything. Don't blindly accept official narratives, especially when they are accompanied by calls for unquestioning trust. Research independently. Share information with others. Demand accountability from your elected officials, even if they claim ignorance or hide behind national security pretexts. Support independent journalists and researchers who are brave enough to tackle these difficult topics. Talk about these issues with your friends, your family, your community. The more people who wake up to the reality of this scam, the harder it becomes for them to operate in the darkness. Your taxes are not just funding roads and schools. They are funding a shadow empire, a network of clandestine operations, and projects that could fundamentally alter the course of humanity without your consent. It's a scam, a colossal deception perpetrated against you, the hard-working taxpayer. The truth is out there, and it's being paid for with your money. It's time to reclaim our power, to demand transparency, and to expose the hidden architects of this grand deception. If you found this information disturbing, illuminating, or simply want to know more, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with everyone you know. Because the truth, no matter how uncomfortable, must be revealed.